Hey, what's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Want to do something a little bit different tonight. Something that's been interesting to me for a long time. I don't know if I've ever mentioned it on my channel before, but I'm a real big fan of EV, you know, the Tesla stuff, you know, the full self-driving. So yeah, I'm a huge Tesla fan, and don't turn off and yell at your screen right now, because I know Tesla can be a very controversial topic, and Elon Musk and whatnot. But contrary to popular belief, Elon Musk did not really invent Tesla or the AC induction motor. Nikola Tesla was the one behind that, you know, years ago, over 100 years ago. I don't know exact date, but Nikola Tesla, everybody's heard of him. He was the first pioneer for that AC induction motor with the magnet system. Really brilliant technology. So then Elon came around, and he basically invested in that technology, in that company. You know, something like $6.5 million he invested in Tesla back when they were first trying to develop that technology. But it was other people at Tesla that was actually trying to mimic and make it, you know, standard where everyday vehicles could use it. The problem, because it took 100 years or more, the problem why it wasn't developed earlier was the battery technology was basically not available back then. I mean, you would have had to use a huge battery, and you know, then the Model T Ford came out, the combustion engine, and then it took the world by storm. So that's when petroleum and fuel and everything started to get basically mainstream, and there you go. So the Tesla technology with the EV just had to be put on the back burner, because honestly, we weren't ready for it. We didn't have the components, the electrical components back then and everything, to really make it to where it would be and used in everyday vehicles. Just couldn't do it. The technology was awesome, but couldn't do it at the time. But now we have the battery technology, and making them smaller and smaller and more powerful. The Tesla vehicles are finally on the road, and they have been for a while if you're not familiar with them. I think back in 2023, the Model Y was the best-selling vehicle on the globe. Can you imagine that? So yeah, there's something good about them. Again, if you're not a Elon Musk fan, that's okay. You don't have to be to appreciate that technology, right? But yeah, Elon invested in the company, and now basically made it into what it is today, and he's now the face of Tesla. But again, it's nothing that he invented, you know. There's a Cybertruck right there. But I see Tesla all over the place. Right there, see? Just saw two Teslas like back to back. But I really would love a Tesla one day. I think that technology is amazing. It is definitely here to stay. And this brings me to a topic that I wanted to talk about today for the motorbike. Since I ride a motorbike, I thought it might be fun to do a little EV talk about what's out there on the motorbikes. And look, I don't research these EV motorbikes extensively, but I have heard of a few of them that seems to be pretty popular. And I don't know if any of you have ridden an EV bike before, but if you have, leave it in the comment below. I'd like to know what you have. So one of them that I was looking at is the Rivet Anthem, which is actually made in the US, believe it or not. And this thing gets about 75 miles an hour for an electric motor. The funny thing is, when I was researching this stuff, the mileage per hour and the range is pretty much identical. So if you have a bike that goes 75 miles an hour, you can just, as a guideline, say, well, this bike will get 75 mile range. So this bike is about 8K, and it has the regenerative braking. I don't know if you guys know what that term means, regenerative braking, but that's what the Tesla vehicles have. So when you let off the gas, the braking is actually applied, so you don't have to brake. Okay, it's already kind of done, and when that braking happens, that regenerative braking happens, it actually feeds back into the motor and charges it, or the battery, I'm sorry, feeds back into the battery and charges it. I think that's brilliant, right? So there's people that own Teslas that, you know, have 90,000 miles on their Teslas, and they still are on their original brake pads because of it, because of that regenerative braking. It's pretty cool. I have not personally driven a Tesla yet, but I would love to. Just not sure how I would get used to the automatic braking. And this Rivet Anthem actually has an adjustable seat height, so that's just one of them. The other one is a Sondor's Metacycle. This is more of a cruiser style bike, as you can see. And this one, a little bit cheaper. They say this one sells for retail about 6K. And the miles per hour, 80 miles per hour. So guess what the range is? 80 miles. See how that goes hand in hand? That's pretty interesting to me. So this one sounds like it's really quick because the motor is actually installed in the back wheel. So you got that instant torque. Again, I've never driven an EV bike before, but if you have, let me know. Another one is the Zero DSR-X. This one is more of like an adventure style bike, but the price tag is about 29K, so a little beefy there. So with a top speed of 100 miles an hour, guess what the range is? 100 miles. To me, this one looks like a motorcycle more than any other one, like a true motorcycle. Then we have the Damon Hypersport Premier. So this one's kind of looking like a sport bike with a pretty lofty price of 40K. Yeah, they're starting to get up there. You know, you can see the more technology in the bike. Tesla right there. The more technology in the bike, the more expensive price tag. But this one, top speed, check this out, 200 miles per hour with an equivalent range, 200 miles. And this one has like a ton of technology. It's got a 360 degree like camera system, loads of other tech. And what's cool about it is it has an adjustable riding style, meaning you can actually, if you feel like going out and feeling like a sport bike ride, you adjust it to the sport bike specs. You know, the seat, everything's adjustable. Or if you want to just ride like a cruiser in one night, you can do that. Or even an adventure bike where you're more sitting upright. So it's got that flexibility. Probably why it costs 40K, right? And we can't forget about the Harley-Davidson Livewire model. One of them is the S2 Del Mar, they call it, about 16K. This one actually a really cool bike, I think. It's kind of one of those cafe racer style bikes. I think it's really slick. 100 miles per hour, top speed, and check this out, 0 to 60 in like 3 seconds. Just like the one I mentioned before, the one that cost $40,000, it's got about the same 0 to 60. 3-second speed, that's insane. You can have this like instant torque in these EV battery powered, just like Teslas. Teslas have like amazing torque to them, and they're quiet, right? Honda has one too. Don't worry, I'm not going to leave out Honda, but again, most of the manufacturers are coming out with their own EV bikes, if they not already have. I think Honda was called the WN7, if I'm correct. That was the Honda brand, but again, I'm not going to go through all the specs and stuff, guys. You can look all that stuff up tonight. The main point I wanted to get across is whether it's a vehicle, whether it's a motorbike, right? EV technology is here, and it's here to stay. I'm sorry. If you're not a fan of EV, you better get used to it, because I read stuff like by the year 2030, 2045, the majority of vehicles on the roads, including motorbikes, will all be EV. Imagine that. I mean, look how fast times are changing. It's incredible. But now that we have, again, the engineering and the capability of making smaller and smaller batteries, but they're powerful. Yeah, I mean, hell, look at your lawnmower. My next lawnmower is going to be an EV lawnmower. Yeah, and I was looking at one debating on whether I should get a lawnmower. It's like it's equivalent to 160 cc for a lawnmower, and it gets like an hour and a half battery range. Hour and a half. It's not going to take me an hour and a half to cut my lawn. It takes me about 20 minutes. So that's amazing to me. So anyway, guys, this EV stuff, to me, it's incredible. Again, I'm a huge Tesla fan. Have you ever seen the full self-driving by Tesla? They call it the FSD, full self-driving. That is some slick stuff. And I'm hooked on watching these videos for some reason. I'll get online and I watch these channels that have the I'll have these channels that do these FSD driving tours, where they got the cam on the actual display of the Tesla, and they're talking about FSD. Yeah, I don't know why, but I'm a nerd. I'm really hooked on that for some reason, because I just think the technology is freaking amazing. Is it perfect? No, it's not perfect, but it's pretty darn close, especially the newer versions that's coming out, and they keep getting better and better. I think it's up to FSD 14.1.2 or something now. Now, you can buy a Tesla and you don't need to incorporate full self-driving. That's actually an optional thing. You'd have to actually pay for that, okay? And if you buy a new Tesla, it's about $8,000 to get FSD. But it's for the life of the vehicle, okay? It's a lifetime thing for that vehicle. So if you sell that vehicle, it goes with the vehicle, right? Or you can pay monthly. I think it's like $100 a month, $99 a month for FSD. But again, you know, if you're going to spend that much money, you might as well pay for it outright. The thing is, if you want to try it, right, for a month or two, and sometimes if you go to somebody's channel that kind of covers this, you use their code or something, and you can get, like, I think a 3-month subscription. I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, so you can do those things, and you can try it out, right? I'm gonna go here. You can try it out and just see how you like it. I mean, to me, to just be able to sit back, right, in a vehicle and let it drive itself, that's like priceless to me. I would love that. But that's just me. Some people, I talked to a guy online about this in a comment. By the way, if you do like Tesla and FSD, check out Canada FSD channel out there. I think the gentleman's name is Devin. Thanks, Devin. But anyway, plug to him. He's got a great channel, and he explains it really eloquently and nicely, and he's not annoying to listen to or anything like some channels, but he really digs down deep into FSD, because he is actually what they call a beta tester, I think. And there's only a few of those in the country, like 5 or something. Man, and he's in Canada, so he may be like one or two people in Canada that has that beta testing, which is pretty cool. So anytime a new beta comes out, you know, him and a couple other people are the actual first to try it. I think that's pretty slick. I mean, I envy Devin. I'm like, man, that would be a fun job to have, trust me. But anyway, yeah, check it out, because he covers FSD pretty well. And I'm hooked on his videos, and probably one of the few channels I really watch. So yeah, I mean, but you know what? At the same time, these bikes, the small displacement bikes, 150cc like this one, right? Man, I get 100 miles to gallon on this, really. 100 miles a gallon average. So I'm not complaining. But even if it was electric, it'd be even better, right? You just charge it at home, plug it in your wall, and you're good to go. I don't know. Again, people have ups and downs and quirks, and a lot of political opinions about EV, and especially Tesla with Elon being in the political nonsense. I don't follow any of that, whether you're a Elon fan or not. I stay away from the politics, and I just look at the technology behind it. And it's one of the best selling brands in the world for a reason. Tesla, I'm talking about. But so yeah, if you have a EV bike, I'd be really curious to know what you have. and drop it in the comments below. That would be kind of fun. Hey, real quick, I wanted to mention, guys, I've created a membership for the channel. I know a lot of you really thank me for creating this channel and keeping it going over the years. So anybody wants to support me, it's actually, there's a membership now. It's only like $3.99, but it really helps going a long way. You know, it takes me time and energy and gear and stuff to create these videos, so any little bit helps, so I really appreciate that. The links are below, or the membership, just click on membership. And there's a different way to do it too. I have a link below for that. If you feel like supporting, it's there's a site called Buy Me a Cup of Coffee. I know it sounds weird, but it allows you to customize that offering, and it's just a bigger cut for the creator, where I think YouTube for the membership takes like 30% as a cut, which is crazy. The Buy Me a Cup of Coffee site, I think it's only like 5% or 7%, so the creator gets more of the value for it. But there's two ways to do it, whatever you guys prefer. But thank you, that would really help me out. And then I guess in closing, let me know what you think about EV technology. I like to have the conversations with people. I probably seem like a pest when I leave a video comment on the guy's channel that I follow, but I am so into the technology, I just could talk about it all day long. I mean, I tell you what, to be able to sit in a Tesla and experience the FSD, right, and talk about it, would be like, I would be loving that. Because I like creating, you know, riding the motorbike as I do now, but you can only do that like so long, especially where I live, which is in the southwestern part of Ohio. It gets cold in the winter, right? And you know, you heard me before, I don't like riding when it's cold out. So when I had my accident in the spring, I couldn't ride for a couple months until I recovered. So it really kind of destroyed my ability to ride for a couple months. So there went the whole summer, really. So I'm actually able to ride again now. And but now, guess what? Now it's getting colder. It's my God, Halloween is coming up in the next couple of weeks. So beautiful weather still, but it's starting to get cold, and eventually it's going to get down to like 50s and 40s, and then I'm a big chicken. I don't like to ride in the cold, so I will probably resort to doing other things for the channel, more like behind the computer and reviews and stuff. But you know, either that or buy some winter gear and suck it up, right? That's all you can do. You got to just dress for the occasion. So we'll see what happens. So again, if you are new to my channel, I get subscribers now every day, and I appreciate every single one of them. I live, like I said, near Cincinnati, Ohio, kind of in suburbia, as you can tell, a golf course around here. And I just ride this little scooter and just basically cat around the town of the city here, and it really works out well. You know, after a long day of work, I just hop on this thing and get out there and ride, and you know, kind of every stress of the day and stuff I was worried about kind of just goes away. And that's what these little bikes are for. And if you ever decide to get a bike, are you going to consider EV bike or combustible engine bike, right? Now you're going to have to start thinking about that. It's always something, isn't it? But yeah, I would probably do an EV bike. I really would. They're a little pricey for me right now, but maybe you could find one on the used market where it's not so bad. Although they're fairly new, it might be, the availability on the used market may not be there quite yet. But yeah, I would probably consider an EV motorbike after this one, if I do. Maybe. I'd have to ride one, I'd have to see what they're all about, but it's very tempting. Now, living in a colder climate, if I'm going to kind of drop that kind of money into something, honestly guys, I would rather have something I could use all year long, and that would be a Tesla, because in the wintertime I could still do it. I even thought about creating my own channel for a Tesla. I really have. I mean, it'd be something I would love to do. Since I have the experience on YouTube, I think it would go, and I could keep this, but in the wintertime, you know, I could make the videos on the Tesla or whatever, talk about all stuff Tesla. I already have some names picked out for the channel and everything. That's how really much I'm thinking about this, but I still need the vehicle first, right? You need the vehicle. And I think that'll be my next vehicle, because I have a 2013 Kia Optima with, like, man, it's got 150,000 miles on it, so it's getting to the point where, yeah, I'm gonna have to get something eventually, but man, it still runs. Can't complain. It's been paid off for many years, and I really don't want another car payment if I can help it, honestly. But it's still tempting, really tempting. So we shall see, as they say. But yeah, I'll end it here, guys, and thanks for watching, and you guys have a good evening, and yeah, we'll see you on the next one, okay?